I am the fan that gets home at 2 a.m. in the morning, Saturday morning, at my time here in the Philippines, and then woke back up to watch the game at 8 a.m. That's me.
That's a fan.
Being the fan.
They win.
Tom, you're not really a fan. You're a bandwagon fan.
Yeah, proud of it too. I'll go with the team that wins.
Very proud of it.
Next year,
conspiracy.
we're gonna make him pick one team and ride it all
Yeah,
year.
next year. Conspiracy theorists are losing their mind as Kash Patel is picked to lead the
Yeah, I saw that.
FBI. The Senate is getting some blowback, but you have to remember Republicans have control of the Senate. Interesting fact. Did you know, this is pretty cool, Kash Patel, growing up, was best of friends and used to play outside a hotel that belonged to Kash Patel. Ramaswamy and Kash Patel were best of friends.
Whoa.
I believe it.
Isn't
That
that
is so
that
neat.
crazy?
Yeah.
And when we look at diversity and Donald Trump's, I know he put Jared Kushner's dad in charge of. I don't remember what it is. He's going to be a captain. Yeah, he's going to be on the cabinet, so that might be a problem. I mean, that's going to get some blowback, of course. All right, 16 minutes after 6. 16 after 6. We are and the Breakfast Club. Check of the weather this morning being brought to you by Atlas Makeup Mirror, atlasmakeupmirror.com. Tell you what, Reba McEntire's got one. You should really have one. You should. I mean, look, the Mandrell sisters, they have one. Linda Davis, she's got one. And makeup artists and professional hairstylists, they all have it. And they're using the Atlas Makeup Mirror. This is a great Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
Give Rebecca a call, 575-631-3189, or go to atlasmakeupmirror.com. Use the code word W105 to save a ton of money today. Order today so you get in time for Christmas.
I was going to say, don't wait because you're running out of time.
Increasing clouds, 54 today. Cloudy skies tonight, 44. About 55 tomorrow, and we're going to stay above freezing, which is good news. In fact, on Wednesday, we're going to be about 64. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by WWRV. They have 3 RV parks in Carlsbad, 162 RV hookups, 30 and 50 amps available, all coming with high-speed internet for one low price. All your utilities included for one low price. It's a very well lit up RV park, and they're pet friendly. 988-0392 or go to WWRV3.com. Tom and the text.
All right, this texter says, B, you can't be talking about Colorado. Where's your boys LSU? Ask the texter.
I never said LSU was making it. In fact, I have been critical of LSU where they should be and where they're at. So I never said LSU. Tom said that Colorado was going to make it.
He did.
Up until last week, he said it.
Well, they won 8 games. I said they were going to win 8, and they won 8.
I will say this much.
That right.
College football is on the downside. LSU's star running back, All-American, freshman All-American, supposedly Oregon is trying to pluck him and give him $1.5 million to go play for the Ducks next year.
Is that crazy?
See, this is going to ruin college football. I get it. This is tampering, is what this would be. Can you imagine the NFL if there was no salary cap and teams could decide they were just going to go pluck somebody and the other team wouldn't get anything back in return?
Right.
This is going to ruin college football. The people that have the most money, like the Phil Knights of the world, who is, of course, the founder of Nike, who is the big Oregon Duck fan.
Right.
this is going to ruin college football because the teams with the money will be the teams that will win. It's all about the money.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was looking at the prediction for bowl games because we were talking about that earlier, and they're predicting that LSU will play TCU in the Texas Bowl.
San Antonio.
And
I was hoping they'd play Colorado.
Yeah, we were hoping that.
Well, the prediction is Colorado's going to lose to BYU in the Alamo Bowl. And then,
I could see that.
And then Missouri is going to play Michigan, of course, which just upset Ohio State, in the Music City Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's like 18,000 bowls. Yeah. By the way, congratulations going out to Roswell Coyotes. Coach Jeff Lynn defeated Artesia. Artesia, of course, won last year. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to win back-to-back. Very hard to win back-to-back. But great game, and congratulations. Dexter went up to play.
What a ball game.
Vegas, and ended up losing that ball game.
Heck of a ball game.
And so it's been a while since Dexter has played for the state championship. Congratulations to all three teams playing for the state championship. Congratulations. Looks like a whistleblower is filed a lawsuit against CYFD following the death of a child. I'll get to that story. Also, Trump announces he's got a border deal with Mexico. Yeah, Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, agrees to the border deal. And the war on oil. The court upholds a far-left emission rule that could harm the oil and gas industry.
Right.
That story up on the Penyon Post. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. Text line, Tom, 877-396-W105.
Oh, Reginald Tom A. Hader is chiming in. He says, Trump's not even in office yet, and yet he's reduced the number of male pregnancies. Trump is already at work, says the texter.
Yeah, we talked about that off the air. I mean, so this story was, the headline was, gays are running off to get married and fertility treatments. And I went, wait. Fertility treatments? Last time I checked, a man and a man can't get pregnant. And a woman can't get pregnant. Maybe I'm confused.
You are correct, sir.
Maybe it's just me. Continue, Monica.
Okay, he forgot to say that they added, and Trump, keep the Longhorns out of your mouth.
Yeah, well.
So Texas will get a chance to avenge a loss to Georgia earlier this year.
What's that be?
Yes, they will.
Texas will get a chance to avenge the loss that they had against Georgia earlier this year.
They'll play in Atlanta for the championship.
So earlier when we were talking about ordering online, someone texted in and said, I'm 38 and never ordered nothing or anything online. I just don't trust it. I totally understand. But
I get it.
It's impossible.
How do you live in Southeast New Mexico and not order things online? Because there's so many things that we have to order because you can't get them around here.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. My card has a higher probability of getting hacked using it at the store, especially in airports.
Yeah.
Than I would buying something off of Amazon.
And
Kevin's credit cards are the high risk of getting hacked.
Oh, mine are always getting hacked.
Kevin, one texter wants you to say ruin again.
It's ruined. Ruined. You like that one?
They're making fun of you.
A lack of sleep.
Oh, say ruin.
Look, everywhere in the United States has different dialects.
Ruin.
And because you say ruin one way doesn't mean it's going to be said that same way.
Ruin is a word.
I'm going to pick on like Boston, where they drive a car and they park it by the curb.
I think ruin is just one of those words.
And watch the way Whoopi pronounces something and Joy Behar pronounces something.
Yeah, they're different.
Ruin is just one of those words that's pronounced. It's kind of like pecan. Like you either say ruin, ruin, pecan, or pecan. Like, it's one of those, it just depends, like you said, where you're from. But there are certain words that there's no right way of saying it. And so I think ruin is one of those.
Well, I mean, there's phonetically the correct enunciation. However, there are different American dialects, and there's like 16 of them.
I say ruin, but like my daughter says ruin. Like, girl, bye.
I don't know, but I'm just looking on the top of this Red Bull can, and I didn't clean it up before I opened it. And that does not look good. I'm just saying.
Mouse poop.
Oh, my Lord. All right. I'll get to clean it.
Never drink out of a can without cleaning the top first.
Blech. All right, Tom.
All right. Hey, Nick for the Patches is chiming in. It says, B, Dexter played St. Mike's from Santa Fe and not Vegas, Bubba. So, yeah.
Okay, St. Mike's. They played Vegas the week before.
Yeah, they did.
I'm sorry.
They beat them.
All right. This texter says, hey, guys.
47-yard field goal. Yeah.
Huh.
To win.
Jeffron,
week before last.
Jeffron Starship and Marshall Tucker Band was up at Buffalo Thunder Saturday night. Old and awesome. One J Starship member, 86, sang and played the guitar. Grace Slick daughter, their name is China, and Kathy Richardson did White Rabbit, not on the floor.
You mean Grace Slick had a kid?
Wow.
I feel sorry for that guy.
Oh.
Wow. And Gary from the Patch is chiming in. Guys, did you see where baby Biden was pardoned by a daddy?
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Yeah. Look, if that was me or you, these Democrats want to end gun violence unless it's Hunter Biden getting a gun.
Well, if we're getting to this story now.
Yeah, we can.
How many times did Joe Biden go out there and say, I will not pardon him because I believe in the rule of law and no one should be above the law?
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happens. January 6th?
Yes.
Okay, here come the pardons. And I don't want to hear a damn thing out of you people. I don't want to hear a damn thing out of you. Nothing. I don't want to hear one thing because Hunter Biden's son got to walk. So the blue collar patriots of the world, they should get to walk too.
Yes.
Is that an abuse of power?
Of course it is.
So when you pardon your own son, it's a little different pardoning somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows. It shows
if Trump would pardon Hunter, and Trump said no.
That could be, but I
think that's why he went ahead and did it.
Well, what it really shows is that Democrats, like Joe Biden, are liars.
That's exactly right. You know, they were on Fox and Friends. They kind of went down a list of all of the lies that have been told from the Biden administration. And that last
I don't know if we'd have enough time to cover that.
Right.
He wasn't going to pardon Hunter. You know, I just think it was perfect timing. It was perfect timing. He's on his way out. Hunter's trials like in a week. Yep. And it was perfect timing. He took off to where Alabama, wherever the heck he went, took his press secretary with him. Nobody's there to answer questions. He's nowhere to be found. Perfect timing.
Well, I'm very skeptical that this handoff of power is going to go as smoothly as they say it's going to go.
Right.
I'm waiting for the other foot to drop.
Yeah.
The other shoe to drop, because with Kash Patel becoming the director of the FBI, that could come with Epstein's list and all kind of other things. So this January 6th debacle, the true story might come out soon. Get ready.
But this Joe Biden thing, it really emphasizes the depth of the corruption.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
they don't care.
It is so corrupt that, you know, they can do whatever they want, but you little peons better stay in line.
Yeah.
Correct.
You peons that pay taxes. Yeah, that's exactly what you are. All right, Tom, Price Oil this morning being brought to you by Spinnaker Cementing Solutions, a division of Cud Energy, reminding you that they are dedicated to leading the way in cementing solutions. And they've got over 200 experienced cementing professionals. Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. You can find them on Magnum Industrial Road in Hobbs. They specialize in lightweight, high compressive strength. They can take care of everything you need in the patch. Get in touch with them today, SpinnakerOil.com.
West Texas Intermediate, $68.77, $76.62 for Brent crude, and the price of natural gas is $3.17. B.
Looks like a whistleblower files a lawsuit against CYFD following the death of a child, and legal action being taken against New Mexico Children, Youth, and Families Department with the claims that the department's actions led to a child's death and has been the subject of a hostile work environment in retaliation for speaking out. Lawsuit comes after an employee refused to obey directions from CYFD's supervisor as the whistleblower tried to relocate a child to a better home, claiming the child's living situation was dangerous. They pushed this individual out, according to his attorney, Ben Gubernick, representing the whistleblower. They also made sure that person, the whistleblower's life was miserable until they tried to push him out and made him quit or her quit. Doesn't get into gender. According to the lawsuit, on September 2023, whistleblower overseeing the case involving 5 siblings following reports of abuse and neglect. The few months prior, CYFD had custody of the children, but decided to let them stay with their mother on a trial home visit. The oldest sibling was considered an at-risk youth and was involved in street gangs, leading into an incident involving a gun. Whistleblower claims the children's mother told her and other CYFD staff she was not in the position to take care of the kids and needed help. That's where this story all begins. And the lawsuit in this case says before Children's Court in January of this year, supervisor hid information from the judge. A month later, the oldest child was shot in the head in Hobbs and died 2 days later.
And that's not the first time in southeast New Mexico that we had the problem. Nope. You remember the 3 children that the parents took to North Carolina, and the girl ended up blind in the hospital.
Those are the ones that you were talking about, the gypsy kids, right?
Yeah, let's just talk about the little boy that lost his life in Carlsbad, who overdosed from fentanyl at his mother and grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And by the way, the court, they put them back in the hands of those 2 monsters.
And here's a pattern with 3 cases in the last couple of years. What would happen to an individual if they had made these decisions?
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's what needs to happen to these people who are employed by the state of New Mexico.
Blood on the hands of MLG and CYFD. We have good people working in CYFD, like this whistleblower that came forward and said this is not a good situation.
But all the higher ups at CYFD all have blood on their hands.
And part of the reason, how many secretaries have we gone through at CYFD?
Stopped counting a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it's 6.
I think you're
in 6 years. Or not even 6 years. Crazy. New Mexico Court of Appeals, which is compromised entirely of Democratic judges, upheld the emission regulations targeting the oil and gas industry and one of the biggest producers of energy in the United States.
Yep.
This decision reflects on a broader push by the far left environmentalists to undermine the oil and gas industry. This case focuses on the 2022 regulation requiring operators to monitor and reduce emissions of pollutants. And when we start dealing with smog and ground level ozones and that type of stuff, we make it so much harder to drill in New Mexico. Texas just standing by going, we're ready.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We got that horizontal drilling. We're ready.
Well, and if it coming up in the news, you'll hear the story of they've now released a report where they did research to try to back this up. They parked a trailer in Loving to measure ground stuff, right, which is smog. And so they've just released that report right ahead of the 2025 legislative session.
Of course.
Wow.
Because that they're going to try to put that, they've brought it every time now, trying to make it where you can't do anything within a mile of a house or a school or a church or a building or whatever. Yeah. And
Crazy. Donald Trump hits a home run. We'll get to that. Also, the thought for the day, the tweet of the day coming up next. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Main Trailer Sales. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. 70 years in business. They have new and pre-owned models, Keystone, Cougar, other big name brands, fifth wheels, toy haulers, ultralights. Get in there today. If you're living in a hotel, getting paid a per diem, how about getting yourself a fifth wheel and let that per diem pay for the fifth wheel? And then when you're done paying for it, it is yours. Then the per diem paid for it. Think about that one. MainTrailerSalesInc.com. Called David this morning, 575-822-1751. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. Tom?
All right. Butthead is chiming in this morning. He's saying, good morning, guys. This is Butthead. My dad, Smokey's birthday is tomorrow, and I was wondering if you guys could wish him an early happy birthday for me.
Well, I hope he has an awesome day today and tomorrow.
Goes on to say, I love you, Dad, and happy early birthday. I love you so much, and I'm so glad and proud to be thankful to call you my dad. And because of you, I am the woman I am today. I would choose you in any lifetime over and over again.
Oh, that's
to Smokey this morning.
So sweet. Precious. Happy birthday tomorrow, Smokey. Today.
Happy birthday, Smokey. Smokey! Happy birthday. All right. Original Tommy Hater says, did you read the pardon? It states for possible crimes Hunter may have committed for dates way back to 2014.
2014.
Yeah. It's not only a pardon for things he's convicted of. It's anything he might have done.
He may have done.
Well, what about future? Does he get pardoned for that too?
No, he can't. He can't legally do that.
Right.
He'll get in trouble after Daddy's gone. You watch. It's got a track record of it.
And referring
as
to
long as as long as it's not this year, 2024 or before, like anything he's done up until now, the pardon covers. So it's going to have to be a future deed that he does if he's going to get in trouble.
Gotcha.
And I don't know what this person is. Well, they're referring to what you said about Boston. Your khakis.
Oh,
my bad.
Khakis
are pants for some, and what you need to start a car for Boston.
Your khakis.
Oh,
khakis.
Car keys. Hello. And Anthony from Roswell says, it sounds like Kevin had a lazy tongue or something.
He's
tired. What are you talking about, Anthony?
Dude.
That's called a Cajun accent.
and it's called no sleep.
Jet lag.
I'm dying. Give me at least 2 weeks. Then you can pile on all you want.
And Tom Hater, too, is chiming in. He said, guys, you got to remember Biden, the clown, is old and senile. He doesn't remember where the steps are on Air Force One.
I bet he remembers where all the money is he got from Ukraine.
Yes, he is yet alone what he said months and months ago. I knew he was going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
It was only a matter of time, says Tom Hater, too, this morning.
I think if you're a regular listener to this show, you know that we all knew he was going to do it as well.
We figured. Yep. All right, let's get to the tweet of the day this morning, being brought to you by our buddies at Platinum Auto Services in Carlsbad. Professional mechanic service you can trust. They're at 606 South Canal. They can do all your maintenance work, oil changes, window tinting. They can do diagnostic work, tire and accessories. Once your truck lifted, they can handle that. All their folks are ASE certified technicians. They use nothing but high-quality auto parts. Give them a call this morning, 575-689-6900. Platinum Auto Services in Carlsbad. 606 South Canal. Check them out today. All right, I'm seeing if it's going to happen. All these people in Hollywood said they were going to move. Let's see if they move.
I'm going to be out of the country.
I will move. She's saying.
But I need to come into your country if you'll let me in, or Canada.
Listen, if he wins, he won't have to worry about immigration. Well, I'll go back.
Where would you go? Canada.
I'm 100% moving to Canada. I love Canada.
I'd be an expatriate. I would definitely move.
Trump win, I'm moving to Africa.
If any Republican gets nominated, I'm going to move to Canada with my entire family.
Maybe it's time for me to move.
I'm reserving my ticket.
That is going to be ready right after the election.
Panama, Siberia,
Nova Scotia.
I'm definitely moving to Canada.
For a while.
I would move to the Caribbean.
The Bahamas, Hawaii.
I've always wanted to live in Italy.
Well, please get on out of here. Get stepping. You said you were going to do it. Let's see how many do it.
Yeah. Hey, B, we got a phone call this morning.
Let's go to the phone call. Then we're going to come back and talk about the woke military. Hopefully that's changing. Morning, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Calling Carlsbad. How y'all doing this morning?
Hey, good morning.
Another day.
I got a couple things I want to touch on, but what we ought to do is come up with a moving service, move all these loudmouths that I'm going to leave. If Trump gets elected, let's start packing them up and get them out.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, let's chip in and get them on a plane. Let's go.
There you go. Exactly right. Hey, Blake had a story last week on his news about the Fish and Wildlife wanting to about the puffer fish, Blake.
Yeah. The Pecos puffish.
Is that going to take in Bradley and Lake Carlsbad and everywhere people like to fish and the Pecos River?
Yes, it's like
and shut the oil field down too.
It's like 136 miles along the Pecos River, and so
both sides.
Yes, and both people and like 25,000 acres of land around it. So people need to comment to the Fish and Wildlife about that and make their voices known that they don't want it or they do want it. I mean, there are some people that do. So
these environmental wackos.
But they need to overwhelmingly hear from people who don't want it for them to not list it.
The good news is Donald Trump is coming to office.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. He'd get rid of those idiots and run and put somebody got a little sense and little brains in their head.
Think about this. We've had the lizard. Yeah, we've had the lizard try to shut down the oil and gas industry.
The chicken.
Then the prairie chickens.
The prairie chicken.
And now the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're all graphic styles. Trump's coming in with drill baby drill, and they're trying anything and everything they can to stop the oil, to get rid of the oil and gas because they're stupid.
They're trying.
So I think, they're so in tune with me being a environmentalist and want to get rid of the oil and gas industry. Fine. Park your SUV, park your four-wheel drives, park your private jets and your private planes.
Amen.
And airplanes and walk.
Yep.
Or get a horse.
Yep. Get her done.
You're gonna walk.
Get her done.
You're gonna talk, walk the walk.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. I appreciate you, buddy. You take it easy, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Have a good one. All right, Monica. I ordered and Blake. I ordered a scanner today.
Okay.
Online.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
It is Cyber Monday. Hopefully got a good deal.
Did you get a good deal?
I'm going to be able to start scanning you guys the thought for the day and Blake news stories back and forth.
Right
on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let me do the thought for the day this morning, being brought to you by Wakefield Oil, 35 years plus serving Southeast New Mexico. Quality products, excellent service. Give them a call this morning, 575-622-4160. If you're driving, just go to wakefieldOil.com. They deliver online and offline, offer on-road and off-road. Get in touch with them today. They would love to deliver interstate batteries, oil and gas, whatever you need. They can handle that. 575-622-4160. And thought for the day in memory of Mr. Wendell Wakefield. Thought for the day is the Grinch never hated Christmas. He hated people, which is fair. I think it's fairly. Yeah, I think that is fair.
I can identify.
our woke military, I will say this much. I think that you should be able to be escorted out the military if you have a medical condition. Is that fair? Do we want
I think that's
people
fair.
with mental conditions to have guns?
No.
So if somebody decides to chop off their penis, wouldn't that be
going after yours,
mental?
Tom?
Still, it hurts thinking about it.
Yes, that's a mental condition.
Yes. So here is this individual that, tells a story about he had knee surgery and came back and transitioned and couldn't do the job that he was supposed to do. Interesting.
You know, 3 years ago, I was serving as a male officer. I had come back from a deployment to the Middle East. I decided during that deployment that I needed to go through and transition. And I did so during a break in service a little bit. I took some time off from the reserves, transitioned. They called me back after about 6-7 months and said, hey, you can't leave. You have to come back and drill. We have to go through some medical review for some surgeries that I had for my shoulders. And I said, well, you know, the situation is I've actually legally transitioned at this time, and physically I'm not male anymore. So I'm not going to go back and pretend I'm a guy. It's just not going to work. So
I will say this much. If somebody is gay and wants to serve, they should be able to serve.
100%. Yep, 100%.
But if a man joins the military as a man and then transgenders to, transitions to a woman.
But let me get this straight. He went for shoulder surgery, and they chopped off things?
They would do a clip.
That's kind of scary. Isn't that a different doctor?
Right.
Yeah, and do you know who paid for all this?
You and I.
We did.
Yep.
American taxpayers, and that's the biggest rub. That would be, and look, I had a friend of mine that was in the Army and ended up getting a boob job. Taxpayers paid for the boob job. I'm not for that either.
No.
I'm not for. I bet we worked at the same bar when I was working in Illinois, and she came back, and all of a sudden I was like, "Damn, those are new."
Hello.
Yeah, that's what I said. Looks like Chicago pastor talking about the Chicago mayor. He doesn't speak for everybody. Tom, what do you think his approval rating is?
20%.
20% would be high for Mayor Johnson in Chicago. Listen to this. Boy, my sound bites.
Not allow in the city of Chicago our mayor to speak on our behalf because he does not speak on the behalf of the people. He only has a 14% approval rating. That means that the majority of the people in Chicago do not agree with his policies, nor do they agree with him.
Would you call a 14% approval rating like bottom of the barrel?
Absolutely.
Almost, yes.
That's crazy. 14%. All right, we're going to get into Kash Patel. We'll get to that coming up in just a second. Also, we'll talk about Donald Trump signs a deal. Well, it's not really signed yet, but he's gotten a deal with the president of Mexico. They're closing the border. We'll get to that in just a second. We're being the Breakfast Club 10 minutes away from 7. Tom on the text.
All right, this text is saying, first of all, that's destruction of government property because when you sign the contract, you take the oath of enlistment that you belong to the government.
That's true.
Says the text.
They could make a case for that.
Yeah. And this texter says, sounds like they wanted to do away with irrigation so the feds can buy the land from ranchers and control the drilling.
That could be part of 30 by 30.
It is part of 30 by 30.
30 by 30.
You got to remember the whole thing about 30 by 30 is the government already controls about 30% of the land in the United States, but they're not talking about that. They want to get private land that's owned by individuals and companies and other things. They want 30% of that as well because their ultimate goal is 50 by 50. 30 by 30 is just the first stepping stone.
Crazy.
Yep.
And New Mexico's turning into California. Shut down the oil field and tax, says the texter.
Monica?
Uncle Mike says, I'm glad to hear about these liberal women having surgery so they don't ever have children. We don't need any more dumbass offsprings. The pardon for Hunter is also a pardon for Joe. What do y'all think about that?
Can the president pardon himself?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what happens is, will Hunter be able to testify against his dad if that ever happens?
Well, he has immunity.
Oh, Tom Hader too said, Tom reminds me of a female, the way he yells out, B, and then gasping. LOL, when Kevin says something supposedly offensive. That was hilarious because that's a total chick move. Like, babe.
No. B.
You just did it. B.
People love that.
Oh, my goodness.
Keep doing
All
it,
right,
Tom.
we're going to get to Cass Patel coming up next. Donald Trump announces the border deal with Mexico. President Sheinbaum has agreed to close the border. Donald Trump's not even in office yet, and the man has already got the agreement. The cease deal with Hamas that happened last week, that wasn't a Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
No,
that was Trump.
Didn't she grandstand and say that she's not going to do what he wants like only a week ago?
Yep, but she has announced the border deal with that she agreed to shut down the border. So all these caravans coming through will be turned around and sent back in a different direction.
Think of all of those kids who the parents who are horrible parents put in the arms of the coyotes. What do you think they're going to do with those kids?
What kind of parents are those? Crazy.
They're the kind that don't deserve children.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers. One person dead after a collision that involved a semi in Midland that happened last night, according to the city of Midland. The motor vehicle collision happened on State Road 349 and East County Road 160. Midland Fire Department responded about 8:16 last night. They report the driver of the car was dead on the scene, and the driver of the semi was taken to the hospital with injuries.
Oh, man.
Thousands of Amazon workers on strike. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Amazon workers go on strike. You think that's planned, Tom? The timing?
Oh, yeah, Christmas time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they want them to cave. Come on, Bezos, pay them.
Well, the global union is protesting, and street demonstrators took to the streets. That includes union workers, civil society groups, and, of course, this is going to affect about 30 countries where Amazon is, including Germany, the U.S., Brazil, and Japan.
So what are they striking for? I've never heard of an international strike like this.
Yeah, more money. They want more money, and they want. Look, those guys, and I'm not saying they don't work hard, but I think a lot of people work hard.
Well, they have a lot. If you look at any of the ads that Amazon puts out there for their perks, if you work for Amazon, they'll pay for your college and they'll pay for all this other stuff.
I mean, you know what eventually is going to happen? Everything will be automated.
It's quite automated already. If you look at their
but the what's going to happen? It's all going to be automated, and you won't be able to strike about anything because you'll be full-time at home.
Right.
We talked about NIL running college football, but it looks like New Mexico has their own fair share of homegrown stars, but a local basketball star has added her name to the list, and she's getting paid. Yes, Brandon Mason, president of ABC Prep. Mason joined the family at El Dorado School for Bella Hines and her supporters Hines is going to play basketball at LSU and signed a huge NIL deal to play women's basketball.
Crazy.
It looks like the deal includes Nike Jordan brand.
Wow.
Well,
Got to remember, this is a
big
high
brand.
school player right now. Will not play until next year for LSU.
Wow.
Just
Pretty
imagine if I
crazy.
would have had a
Well,
growth
that just goes to show you that if you are raising kids right now and they are so inclined to a sport, definitely by the time they're in high school, you need to have them play into the best of their ability because they could make millions of dollars just going to college.
Yeah, but that just takes the fun.
It does.
I mean, Tom, who was the player that played at USC? Went on to play in the NFL, but he just got burned out.
USC.
Somebody, Marinovic was his last
Pete
name.
Marinovich, yes.
Really?
No, that wasn't his name.
He was a
somebody can help us out.
Yeah, he was a
Anyway, this
quarterback for
kid,
USC.
by the time he got to the NFL, he was just tired of the game.
Played for the
And
Raiders.
I see it with these traveling teams.
Right.
My granddaughter is on the road all the time, traveling, playing softball. I can see where a kid would get burned out.
I can see that too, but I'm saying that if your child shows a proclivity to this, you encourage it, and there's a chance that they could be set.
Yeah.
Hey,
what
and
parent
don't
doesn't
forget
want something
everything I
better
did
for
for
their kid?
you because I want to get paid.
Yeah,
Don't you dare forget what I've done for you.
Brett Hager is one of the most popular and best players to come out of Permian High School back in the 80s. He was drafted by the Eagles, and he
What
hated.
does this have to do with NIL?
No, but I'm saying that by the time he got to play in the NFL, he was burned out. He didn't want any part of it.
Who?
But he played.
I have no idea.
This is before
Who?
the NIL.
Who?
Brett Hager.
Who?
Right.
This dude nobody's heard of.
Who? What college did he go to?
I think he went to UT.
I have no idea.
University of Tennessee?
Played for the Horns.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
Burned out.
I watched him play in high school. He was a darn good player, linebacker.
Maybe because he was burned out.
Yeah.
Axe-wielding ATM vandal charged with 2 additional cases in Roswell. Cameron Dickerman, 20 years old, charged last week taking an axe to an ATM.
Oh, wow.
On 2 different occasions. Used same instrument to damage these ATM machines. Now facing a total of 28 criminal counts. He's only 20 years old. He's way ahead of the game at this point. And on Tuesday, they served him with 2 arrest warrants, one for 16 counts of criminal damage over $1,000, and then 8 counts of criminal damage under $1,000. And of course, he had already had that larceny over $20,000. Dickerman in magistrate court alleged that on November 13, Dickerman struck multiple vehicles with an axe, including 16 at the Roswell Hyundai dealership.
My goodness.
Yo.
Breaking windows and causing damage.
That's wild.
Wow. And then took the axe to the ATM machine.
Now I looked up this guy that Tom was talking about.
Brett Hager.
Britt Hager.
Mm-hmm.
He played for Permian. He was in the 89 draft. Played for the Eagles from 89 to 94, the Broncos from 95 to 96, and the Rams in 97.
Didn't
That's
sound
almost
like
10 years.
He was burned out because how long do you think a NFL career on average is?
Probably
Like 10 years?
About that long,
Yeah.
about 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I think it's like 6 years.
Now, the interesting thing is he did go to University of Texas, and he set a school record in 88 with 195 tackles, and then he holds the career Texas record with 499 tackles while he was in Austin.
Wow.
He was a good player, but he admitted after
linebacker
after he quit his NFL career that he maybe played too long because he didn't love the game anymore.
Oh.
8 years. That's like a normal.
That's a long time.
But it's hard to give up that kind of money.
We're going to talk about the hit against Trevor Lawrence. We'll talk about that. Albuquerque man accused of sexual assault. We're KWMW, Maljamora 105.1 FM, straight up 7 o'clock. Looks like Kash Patel will be the FBI director. What does that mean? CNN was talking about it on State of the Union yesterday. Here's what they had to say about Kash Patel. His real name is Kash Yu, but they call him Kash, Tom, because nobody can pronounce Kash Yu.
With the American people, and that's exactly what we saw with Donald Trump getting elected. And with Kash, I mean, he has worked national security roles. In fact, he was a prosecutor at the DOJ with the national security under Obama. He's worked with Democrats. He's worked with Republicans. Donald Trump wants change agents. And I think the fact that people here in D.C. insiders, people within the FBI perhaps, don't want Kash is a really good sell to the American people.
I think that is awesome. Chris Murphy, the senator, says that he's from Connecticut, says he's voting against Kash Patel. No cash for Chris Murphy from Connecticut.
Told the American public during the campaign that he was going to turn the Department of Justice into a political operation, an arm of the White House to destroy his political opponents, right? He said that the greatest threat to America is the enemy within. And who he said was the enemy within was us, was journalists, were his political opponents. Kash Patel's only qualification is because he agrees with Donald Trump that the Department of Justice should serve.
Did I just play all his qualifications? He's overly qualified. Correct. He's overly qualified. Ted Cruz, the good news is, will be voting for Kash Patel. Martin Heinrich will not be voting for Kash Patel.
Is going to be confirmed by the Senate. You look at his background. He has a serious professional background. He was a prosecutor. He was a public defender. He was a senior intelligence staffer on Capitol Hill. He was a senior intelligence staffer in the White House. He was the chief of staff of the Department of Defense. He was the deputy director of national intelligence. And I got to say, all of the weeping and gnashing of teeth, all of the people pulling their hair out, are exactly the people who are dismayed about having a real reformer come into the FBI and clean out the corrupted partisans who sadly have burrowed into senior career positions.
So cleaning up draining the swamp, I think it might happen. I think it could happen, which is great.
Please.
Yeah, Tim Walz with a Thanksgiving statement. We'll get to that when we return. And also Kamala and Doug had something to say.
Got a quick phone call, B?
You want to go to the
phone?
phone?
All right, let's go to the call. Morning, how you doing? Where are you calling from this morning?
I'm calling from the patch today.
Hey, Frank, what's going on, brother?
Yeah. Brother, everything good. It was a good day this morning. And, the liberals and the Democrats, So our government has been hijacked for many years since Obama went in there. And I bring this up because Mayorkas was working for the NGOs, non-governmental organization.
Yep.
And he was the one that was over there at the Darien Gap in Panama. And 14 or 16 years ago, they were building tents and building bridges so the migration, the replacement migration could come through there, come through Mexico, and then head over here. From all over the world, they were coming through the Darien Gap in South America. And Mayorkas was in charge.
That's true.
When he was an NGO. And now he's walking the halls of Congress trying to get immunity, plea deals that, so he will get arrested. And there's a whole bunch. Dick Durbin is another one from the Epstein list. He said, no, we're not going to release the Epstein list. So what our new government is coming is trying to put principles and morals and rule of law, the real rule, that we won't get hijacked again. So in those years, George Soros, los zurraos, like we call them in South Texas, andan bien zurraos, andan bien cagados porque se los va a llevar a la chingada. Those guys, yes, those guys were sending credit card vouchers, $5,000, And then when Lou Dobbs came up to that news, he broke that news of George Soros and Carl Schwab. They fired Lou Dobbs from Fox News.
Yep.
And then they fired Tucker Carlson. And every time you hit a nail on the head with breaking news, they fire you. Why?
Yep.
Because they're doing this for replacement migration to change our demographic in our United States of America. And they hate America because we stand up. We stand up, and we really believe in freedom and religion and everything else. And, hey, to each his own, right? Like state to state. Texas believes in something, New Mexico, New York, California, and we can live with that. You know, we can live with that because unity is the United States. That's why we're united. And let us do our own thing in our own state, no problem. I mean, sometimes, you know, we can't cater to everybody, but each state caters to their people, and that's why we're so happy living in the United States. Well, they want to break that. They want to break California. They want to bring California to Texas, California to New Mexico, California to Florida, and they want to ruin it. The globalists, the one world order. And now, like every time with this replacement migration, I said it the other day, they brought millions of people, and then our federal government goes and asks money for the Federal Reserve, which it doesn't belong to the United States of America. It belongs to private families. It belongs to private families, and then we owe the private families for the rest of our life, our grandkids.
Yeah, what they ought to do, Frank, is look up the individual families
Rothschild
that own. And that would be the next. Hey, I appreciate you, Frank. You take it easy. Tom, did you see the hit on Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Clean or dirty?
Didn't see the highlights. What happened in that ball game?
What kind of sports guy are you?
Well, I missed it.
So there are a lot of people saying it was a dirty hit. So he was sliding, and the Texan star, excuse me if I get his name wrong, Aziz Al-Sharir,
all right,
just knocked him out.
Hit him later.
Well, he was sliding and the guy hit him. Was it a dirty hit? Probably.
If he was sliding, it was.
Yeah, if it was sliding.
Once you become a runner, that takes on a whole different deal. But he was sliding, and of course, over the weekend, all the rivalry games.
I did see that.
Michigan plants the flag, and there were players from Michigan and Ohio State got maced.
Yeah.
In that game.
Is that
same thing happened? Alabama, Auburn, and Texas. And
which one of them is it that every single player got a disorderly?
I thought that was the Colorado game. Maybe I'm off.
I don't remember.
See that though.
I just saw the ref and I'm like, what game was that?
Every player on both teams, if they would have got another unsportsmanlike, they would have been ejected from the game.
Right. And suspended.
Crazy.
I wasn't at any of those games where there were brawls, but I did get to experience my first college football game over the weekend. We went to the Tech and the West Virginia game in Lubbock Saturday. And I just want to say good morning to Ronald Alexander, Uncle Ronnie. Thank you guys for inviting us. It was so fun. I feel like I've missed out my whole life.
Gotta start going.
You think of like the NFL being like the best games or whatever.
No, college football was much better than the NFL.
That's what
we're going to win her over. She's going to start going.
I am going to start going.
But
looks like.
But apparently, I can't root for Tech.
You
though.
and Patrick, I think it's 2026. LSU and Texas play.
Okay.
In Austin.
And our families, because we got a split family, baby Adrian and Adrian are Texas fans. So we're planning to all go, and you guys ought to do the same.
Let's go. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'd be
all right.
TV.
All right.
Albuquerque man accused of sexually assaulting a child at a daycare. The man facing a lot of charges after police say that he sexually assaulted a 5-year-old girl at daycare in East Mountains. According to the criminal sexual complaint, 5-year-old told her parents that the teacher, identified as 32-year-old Michael Kimball, had inappropriately touched her several different times. The complaint says that it all started in 2023.
My God,
DNA evidence from September came back with the male DNA. And I'm not going to go into the graphic detail, but his hearing is scheduled for today. Looks like President Trump, could he be the first real crypto president? The crypto market is coming off the strongest ever.
Yes.
Do you think he could? Think he could be the really the first president that embraces crypto?
He's already made indications that he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't expect it to be slowing down. And if you want to look for opportunities, it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yep. And looks like the American dream is very frustrating. 31% of Americans say that they have made it financially. So the rest of the folks, Tom,
that ain't a lot,
say that they have not made it financially. I think COVID was a setback. I think
huge.
What has happened with the inflation has been terrible for a lot of young folks. But we will come out of all this.
Absolutely.
And things are going to be a whole lot better. All right, we're going to take a break in just a second. I got to get you updated with the weather being brought to you by Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell. Homegrown and proud of it. Farm and ranch supplies, Western wear. They've got everything, and they do have the perfect Christmas present. Looking for Western-style hats or boots, they've got you covered. They also have everything like cattle guards, gates, fencing material. Looking for pumps for your water well. And they're your certified Purina dealer. 1105 East 2nd in Roswell, RoswellLivestock.com. Check them out today. Increasing clouds, 54 today, cloudy tonight, 44, and then 55 and cloudy for your Tuesday. Quick check of the weather being brought to you by Zia Guns, 1907 North Main in Roswell. Over 1,000 guns in stock. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, they've got them all. Trade in your old gun to get a better gun today at Zia Guns. Call them 575-622-0023. Looking for personal protection, they have you covered. Over 1,000 guns in stock today. Check them out. Zia Guns. Look for the big Zia symbol right there on Main Street, 1907 North Main in Roswell. Tom on the text, wrap it quickly, then we'll get you updated with news.
All right, Sean in Carlsbad. You know, Ohio-Michigan was a huge fight after the ball game. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. And Kevin, did you see the Ohio-Oklahoma State game against this weekend? The OSU game this weekend?
OSU. OSU. Oh, Ohio State. Which one are you talking about, Tom? Is it Ohio State or Oklahoma State? You said Oklahoma.
I think they're thinking Ohio State.
No, what did they read? What did they write?
Kevin, did you see the OSU game this weekend? Did they play? Oklahoma play LSU?
There's several.
Yeah,
OSUs.
they played LSU. LSU beat them like a baby drum.
Yeah, which OSU are you talking about? Because there's a few of them.
And this one said, Biden opened the door for Trump to pardon all of the January 6th convictions by pardoning his crackhead kid.
Yep.
And I agree with Frank, says this one text, except for one thing, it started under the Bush administration.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Trump-obsessed hater is chiming in and saying obscene words in Spanish are still a violation of the FCC regulations.
That what is a violation?
Bad words in Spanish.
Obscene words in Spanish.
We don't have a Spanish license.
Hey, Mad Dog said the vandal in Roswell must have just watched Cool Hand Luke.
I remember that movie where the guy knocked over a parking lot.
And Smokey in Arizona said, good morning, guys. And Monica, the way you said Smokey reminded me of the movie Friday, and that's part of how I got my nickname. And the other reason was because I was a heavy pot smoker back in the day. Well, Smokey.
Bye, Felicia.
You notice he said back in the day.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yep.
And you
All
read
right,
Sean.
on the way, we're going to hear from Kamala and Doug and Tim Walz on Thanksgiving. And Face the Nation. Face the Nation talking about numbers are dwindling, our kids and their numbers. And Whoopi talks about the Jack Smith trial. We'll get to that on the way. News this morning being brought to you by your buddies at the Twin Wells Fuel Station. If you're driving on 128, exit Buck Jackson Road. They accept all major credit cards and fleet cards and debit cards. If you're driving on 128 this morning and need fuel, exit Buck Jackson Road, go down 2.75 miles and fill her up today. Be safe on the road from the Twin Wells Fuel Station. KWMW Maljamar, 105.1 FM. It's 7:16. We're coming right back. Be in the Breakfast Club.
Call now. Thank you for calling.
Guy Chevrolet in Artesia presents the Cash Blowout Contest on W105. This is the Cash Blowout Contest on W105.
Call now. Call now.
MTD Radio News brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington. Get the job done right every time since 2004.
Proudly serving most phases of the oil field process, Stone Oilfield Services has a fleet of over 60 trucks and a workforce of over 100 employees. From water transport to kill and vac truck operations, flowback services and pit filling to the clean out of rigs and tanks, as well as oiling and acidizing, Stone Oilfield believes in getting the job done right every time. Their central motto, do what you say you can do. Call them today at 575-396-1840. That's 396-1840.
MTD Radio News, I'm Blake Ovard. The New Mexico Cannabis Control Division has issued a recall on several varieties of cannabis sold in the state this year. According to a release from the CCD, the affected products were manufactured and sold by JBS Technologies New Mexico LLC, DBA Stash House, and distributed to licensed retailers between January 1st and November 25th of this year. A full list of the retail locations that received the product includes several locations in southeast New Mexico. The products in question include cannabis pre-rolls and roll-your-own products, which have tested positive for a prohibited pesticide. The products were sold by the manufacturer under the names Drool 2G Blunt and Stone Road 14G RYO. A recent study blames the oil and gas industry for the region's decreasing air quality. Researchers completed a year-long study of air pollutants in the Loving area in southern Eddy County. The researchers found high levels of ground-level ozone, also known as smog, through sampling conducted at a trailer parked in Loving. They also found volatile organic compounds and chemicals such as methane in the air. Results of the research were released about 2 months before the start of New Mexico's 2025 legislative session, where Democrats are expected to propose regulations to potentially require oil and gas companies to locate operations a mile away from homes, schools, and other sensitive areas via so-called setback bill. And the Lovington Main Street organization is kicking off the holiday season under new leadership. The group announced last week that Star McKee has stepped down from the position she's held the past year. Joanna Morato has been named by the Main Street Board to fill the position. Joanna served as executive assistant this year and has been a volunteer for the organization for several years. She took over as executive director on November 20th. And that's the way it is. I'm Blake Ovard. This is MTD Radio News.
Yucca Blossom Trade Days brings you the 4th annual Christmas Jamboree in Artesia on Saturday, December 7th and Sunday, December 8th. It's all happening at the Artesia Center, 622 North 8th Street, Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday 11 to 4. This is your perfect opportunity to get those last-minute gifts from multiple vendors. Not only that, you'll get to bid on a silent auction that will benefit a local family in need. The 4th annual Christmas Jamboree in Artesia, Saturday, December 7th from 10 to 5 and Sunday, December 8th, 11 to 4. Presented by Yucca Blossom Trade Days.
Dear Plugged In, you in on this? Toyota's versatile SUVs roll up their sleeves and take on tough jobs. Dress up for a night out or haul your family and friends with their spacious interiors. And they're available with some real sweet tech. Want a hybrid SUV? Oh yeah, they got those too. All with a slew of standard features so you won't break the bank. Get the juice at Toyota.com, folks.
Visit Permian Toyota in Hobbs today.
Toyota, let's go places. Pops Power Washing Services, LLC has been in business for 9 years and continues to serve the Permian Basin and West Texas area. Specializing in power washing services for the oil field, Pops Power Washing would like to earn your business. Contact Eric and the crew today to get on a maintenance schedule to upkeep your battery facilities, containments, LACT units, all the way down to your wellheads to mitigate possible fines to your company. Fully insured and bonded. Call or text Pops Power Washing Service, LLC at 575-704-0330. That's 704-0330.
For a working man, protection on the job is always first priority. But when it comes to clothes, safety shouldn't compromise style and comfort. And thanks to Wrangler flame-resistant apparel, it doesn't have to. Now the same Wrangler style and comfort you love comes with the protection you need. And with a product guarantee for the life of the garment, they'll take the heat off of any job you take on. Stop by Benny's Western Store in Artesia or Carlsbad to try on some Wrangler flame-resistant apparel today. For the right work clothes, think inside the closet.
Working for the GEO Group at Lee County Correctional Facility in Hobbs is not going to be anything like you see on reality TV. The true reality of the GEO Group? The GEO Group will pay you while you're trained to be a corrections officer. You get a 90-day $1,000 sign-on bonus, and then you get another $1,000 bonus upon certification completion. The GEO Group is proud to offer a community setting built for true rehabilitation through structured living and an incredible staff. Join the family today. GEO Group at Lee County Correctional Facility. Apply online at jobs.geogroup.com or call Jade at 575-392-4055. GEO Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Shut up, chicken!
Now back to your morning show. Hey! Now with the most information for you to start your day.
Wow.
Guaranteed.
Tom A's motto is regular naps prevent old age, especially if you take them while driving.
I can provide sleep sounds if you like. I have several options. Summer night, ocean paradise, whale call.
No. Call or text now, 877-396-W105 to talk to B in the Breakfast Club.
You really jarred something loose, Tiger.
Another day, another 55 cents. We are Beyond the Breakfast Club. Still to come, taking out the trash. We also have things that happen on this date in history. Our number 877-396-W105. Morning show this morning being brought to you by Rig Outfitters and the Home Store. Find them in the Broadmoor Mall. They have everything that you might need if you're going to work in the patch. They've got FR jeans. They've got coveralls, shirts, you name it, they've got it. And they have furniture, appliances, and electronics. RigOutfitters.com for more information. They offer 0 down financing. Next door is Scrub Outfitters, largest selection of scrubs in the medical field. They've got you covered with everything you need to work in the medical field. So, they've got compression socks, comfy shoes, and, of course, your scrubs. And the Broadmoor Mall, check them out today. Tom in the text.
All right. Hey, Tom A. Forrester here. When I was in high school playing basketball, he says, I was 6'9" and the tallest guy in the district. Well, we were playing Itasca, and one of the players hit me in the back. But before I could turn it around, 3 or 4 of those guys were working him over. I guess the officials saw what happened. That guy got ejected from the game, but none of our players did. He was trying to get me to fight so I would be ejected.
Oh, wow.
Says Forrester this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, he'd be a big boy.
And this texter said, my cousin is a female and was locked up with someone who abused her kid. When she found out what she had done and how serious it was, she beat the hell out of that lady and was slapped with a hate crime for doing it. 18 extra months. Isn't that crazy?
And do you remember Trump did the same thing on the pardon? He pardoned his son-in-law's father before leaving office. I don't remember none of that.
Well, that's not the same thing as your son.
So, and one was a blue-collar crime and one was a white-collar crime. And I don't remember what Jared Kushner's dad did.
I don't remember.
No. But again, it's only family by marriage.
Right.
That's not direct lineage.
Right.
Sure.
Well, and he only pardoned him for whatever he was accused of. He didn't say, I'm going to pardon him for anything he's done in the last 10 years.
Future.
Right.
Future immunity.
Right.
And I know I've said it a lot of times, but one of the first person I hope he pardons is our friend down in Alamogordo, Corey Griffin. He was wrongfully convicted of a stupid crime, of a misdemeanor. Now he can't run for office.
I don't think you can get a pardon for a misdemeanor.
Well, he did. I mean, he can no longer hold office in the state of New Mexico.
But that's that's a state thing, not a federal thing. Presidents can't pardon for state.
But a district judge, so
a district judge cannot pardon him.
But he convicted him.
Well, they can convict him because he's a state district judge.
I don't care. I still will
Are
pardon
you
him.
really? Because you're about to make my head explode over here.
Well,
I'm serious.
Well, he's a patriot. I mean, he's.
So do you think Coy is number one on Donald Trump's short list?
I'd put him there. Heck yeah.
I bet you would.
And look, it's nothing. It's nothing against Coy, but what I'm saying is a president can only pardon against federal crimes. They can't pardon against state crimes. That falls to a governor. And you have a governor that ain't going to do that.
Right. But still, didn't he get convicted of a federal crime in D.C. for trespassing?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Trespassing.
I'm not sure. It could have been a D.C. crime.
Yeah.
It might not be
was
federal.
a mystery.
And that led to all that other business. All right. Hey, guys, did you guys hear what's going on with Randy Moss? Good question, because yesterday I was watching NFL Countdown, and he had dark glasses on.
Who?
Well, he said he's going through some medical issues.
Randy Moss did? Okay.
He's been out of the league for how long?
But he was one of the analysts on Countdown, one of the hosts.
Sure.
I don't know.
Kevin, you can use your iPhone Notes app as a scanner.
Yeah, but that would be a lot of work. I just want to take the papers I print, and I have a scanner on the iPhone, but papers I print, throw them through, and it puts it to a Dropbox that you guys can go print from.
Oh, gotcha.
Not you, Tom.
I know.
I ain't got time to explain the procedure.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And
I ain't got time for that.
Tom Hader, too. I wasn't going to read this one, but unfortunately, we don't have too many texts to read from, or choose from, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. I think Tom already went through his gender change, LOL. He has just yet to tell us that he wants to identify as Kevin's side piece.
Side piece, crazy. And 30 by 30 should be the size of the portable gallows. I mean, get rid of the crooks.
Yeah.
Says the one text.
We would have back in the day.
I'm down with that.
If you remember, that's the one thing the French Revolution got right.
Yep.
And don't you guys know? Don't you guys know the Democrats lie all the time? Says the text.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And this one, I wanted to read it earlier, but we skipped over it. Hey, B, what do you think about the vice president of the Philippines wanting to assassinate the president of the Philippines?
Yeah, look, I don't keep up a whole bunch with what goes on in the Philippines, but I thought that was quite interesting. And by the way, that's the daughter of the former president that put to death a bunch of drug dealers, like 60,000 drug dealers. Yeah,
and you also got to remember that when Kevin is in the Philippines, he can't really talk about anything going on politically in the Philippines.
No. I could be blacklisted for getting involved in Philippines. I had an interesting conversation with a judge in the Philippines Saturday night who told me, he said, as an outsider looking in, he said, my dog's name is Trump. Which I thought was pretty cool.
Right.
And he likes Donald Trump. He said the problem with America is it's like somebody coming to your house, a guest coming to your house and saying, I really don't like those curtains, change them. Well, the people telling us to change are the foreigners coming into the country. And he said, that's part of the problem, and it's time for America to start worrying about America. Said he went to China and said their infrastructure is ridiculous. He went to New York 2 years ago, and he said the subway is deplorable. He said America needs to take care of America for a while. Yep. Amen to that.
Yep.
Amen to that. According to a brand new survey, most Americans are stressed about gifts this year. Biden really